Hey guys, welcome to this week's episode of Stream Squad. So today we've got news coming from Twitch with their CEO's idea of the future of the platform. We're also going to be looking at Facebook's earnings report and what's new with stories and communities. After that, we're going to give you guys some tips on how to do a long live stream. And we're also going to go over how to do networking for long distances. And we're going to end things with a special video from the Golf Channel. So stay tuned. We'll be back in just a moment.
Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to #Stream Squad. If it's your first time joining us, welcome. I am Jimmy.
I'm Angela.
And I'm Ernesto.
Welcome everybody. We do this show every week, Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern time, and we're so glad you're here with us. We're going to be going over some industry news. We're going to be talking about some live video strategy, and we're going to give you all sorts of cool tips and tricks on how you can better use Switcher Studio for your videos that you're making. If you're watching right now, please tell us where you're watching from in the comments. Go ahead and share this video out to your timeline so that we can watch with as many people as possible. I'm right here monitoring the comments, and so I'll just try to get to you if you got any questions or things you want to say about the topics that we're getting into today. But with all that being said, why don't we get into the show? What do you say?
Yeah, sounds good.
It's time for some industry news.
So today's industry news segment kicks off with what's new in the world of Twitch. So if you guys don't know, Twitch has an annual gaming conference called TwitchCon that takes place in San Jose, California. This past TwitchCon happened just under 2 weeks ago. It was the weekend right before Halloween, and it attracted tens of thousands of fans, and in nature of Twitch and gaming competitions, over millions of dollars in prizes were given out at this convention. And it was noted that whereas Twitch started years ago as a small kind of niche gaming site, it's really expanded since then. So currently it has over 1 million people using it at any given time. And research from the research firm Newzoo predicts that Twitch is going to grow another 55% by the year 2020. So you guys might be wondering, with this kind of growth, what does that mean for Twitch? Well, at this year's TwitchCon, the CEO and co-founder, Emmett Shearer, gave a speech to all of the attendees, and he said, one of the biggest changes for Twitch over the past year is the way that video games and streaming have started to cross over into the mainstream. So again, instead of this niche thing where just, some people like to watch games that are being live streamed, now it's common. More people are doing it, and that's leading, to Twitch seeing this growth, but also now we're seeing live game streams on Facebook and YouTube and other platforms as well. But Shearer says the main difference between Twitch and these other platforms is their hyper-focus on the streamers themselves. So it's not just, this is the game, it's this is the game, but this is the streamer, and allowing the streamer to really show who they are, decorate their page to be all about them, etc. So Amazon shelled out $970 million to acquire Twitch in 2014, and that's what's helped to lead to a lot of this growth. So of course, Amazon Prime subscribers now have additional bonus features for Twitch where they can do what's called subscriptions for their favorite streamers, and that means that those streamers actually get money from their viewers. So that definitely helps out. Twitch also does a lot of different competitions. As I mentioned, over $1 million was given out at TwitchCon this year for the different competitions. And the final weekend alone of Fortnite's Fall Skirmish Tournament took place at TwitchCon this year, and that drew in over 4 million unique viewers on Twitch, as well as more prize money being given out at the convention as well. So some current statistics are that Twitch has been drawing in 15 million daily active users over the past year, with over 2 million users actually streaming and creating content each month. Even a lot of celebrities like Drake have started using Twitch as well and jumping into that. So from here, Twitch is looking to build an economy that helps its streamers be able to create their own business through streaming and then sustain that while using Twitch. And again, the ability for viewers to donate money is a big factor in this and what's helping people to create these businesses. And you guys might also remember we brought up a few weeks ago, YouTube has now integrated a similar donation project that they're trying to implement as well and encourage people to use. So, to me, it's kind of interesting how in the beginning, Twitch and YouTube and Facebook were kind of their own separate video entities, and now they're all kind of meshing together, and when one of them does something, the others kind of follow suit. So it's interesting to see where they all go from here, since they're now directly competing with one another.
You mentioned Drake he's using Twitch, but there's all these like NBA players getting on Twitch that are playing all the time, like just live streaming them playing Fortnite and all these different games. I think it's it's a really interesting way to connect with, like, they're just people playing video games.
Yeah.
There's nothing too crazy.
Just like everyone else, right?
Exactly. Well, it's very interesting news from Twitch. I've got a couple short quotes from Mark Zuckerberg. I'm moving on to our next topic, who recently gave the Q3 investor phone call that happens every quarter. But along with some information that came from that, we also heard some other ideas about the future of Facebook from Facebook officials and Mark Zuckerberg, just about how some things are going to be more emphasized. One of the main takeaways was that there wasn't a whole lot of growth, or at least there was growth, but it was below estimates. So they kind of missed the mark on some growth. It looked like United States growth in Facebook was pretty steady, but in the Asia and Pacific regions, there was a lot of growth for Facebook. So that's a very interesting development. I think we're going to see a lot more people using Facebook in those regions, and it's going to be interesting to see how it changes with just kind of a different sort of audience and a different user base. But I'm going to give you three really big quotes that were taken from this, and hopefully Ernesto can put them on the screen so we can talk about them. And I'll just kind of give my takeaway on some of those things. If you guys have any ideas about it too, I'd really appreciate your input as well. One of the first quotes I want to bring out is that was said by Mark Zuckerberg is that stories will become a bigger medium than the feed has been. So we've all seen that stories have slowly crept into the mobile interface for Facebook, especially at the top of your feed now. You start off and you've got what used to be 3 cards is now 6 cards that dominate a lot more of the screen, right, especially for me. And does that happen to you all as well? So he's not making that one up. That's certainly true. However, I do believe the feed itself is definitely not going to be going away. The traditional way that we're consuming Facebook, where you're going to be scrolling through, I don't think that's going to go away, but we should expect that stories feature to become more prominent component of the Facebook experience, especially since you can do short videos, images, and text all in that, and they're kind of limited to short bursts. So I think that's going to become a bigger component. In fact, I think we're going to start using stories more as well, just to announce things that we're doing. Like, hey, maybe next time before we do a live video, we'll do a couple stories earlier on in the day, so maybe we can catch some people and get them to come into our videos. So remember, just realize that stories are going to become a more prominent thing that they're trying to push up. Another quote that is from Mark Zuckerberg. He says, if the last 10 years has been focused about friends and family, the next 10 will be about communities as well. Now, the important thing there is saying as well. It's not just like we're switching it away from family and friends. We're just adding the component that communities are going to be more important. So it's not just about groups, like a community as a group. Obviously, we've got a user group. If you click on groups on our page, you'll see that we've got our own community that we like to develop there. But it's also through things like the marketplace. You know, that's becoming, there was a statistic they were trying to point out is a lot of cars are being sold through Facebook Marketplace. There's also the jobs feature. Job postings are happening through Facebook. So people are finding ways of connecting and finding employment through that. That's another sort of community. Also the dating app, the dating component, I shouldn't say app, the dating component of Facebook is going to be developing. One of the last things that was interesting they talked about was fundraisers. They gave a stat that over $300 million has been raised through the birthday donation feature. Maybe you've seen your feed and somebody said, hey, for my birthday, donate to one of these causes. $300 million has been raised through that feature. So they are definitely putting their money where their mouth is when it comes to this development of community. Community is becoming very important. Building an audience, finding ways of making meaningful connections is, I think, truly occurring. It's not just talk. Like these are the things that they're really focusing on. So that's going to happen. One of the last quotes I want to pull out from this talk was that Facebook Watch has grown 3 times in the last few months in the United States alone. Video is part of the future as long as we can make it social. I think what this does is it kind of assuages any fears that the stories and these really short videos is all that Facebook is going to be about. I think long form content definitely has a place with Facebook because they really have the social component. And they admitted that they're really behind YouTube when it comes to kind of the longer form content. They've got a long way to go. However, I think we can all argue that Facebook has done a better job of capturing the social component of this stuff, right?
I think as far as actually getting the video out there and getting eyeballs on videos, I think Facebook has done a remarkable job. But I do agree that I think YouTube is probably still the top destination for long form video. And that's definitely where I consume most of my long form video as well. Facebook Watch is definitely growing. So as a platform and as a platform within a platform, I guess I should say, it's kind of like Facebook Watch is buried in Facebook. It is growing heavily, and I think the social component is really what's going to make the change and make it, I'm not saying better than YouTube, but it's definitely going to allow it to grow in a different way. But yeah, that was one of the main takeaways from that Q3 update from Mark Zuckerberg. So yeah, very interesting stuff there. I'm noticing that we do have a lot of people commenting, and I'm appreciating that. Who we got in here? We've got, what's up, Pavel, hola, ¿qué tal? Okay, so Dean Reynolds, hey, this is great. He's always watched the replay on YouTube, and now he's live with us, guys.
Hey, Dean.
Thanks so much for coming, Dean. Maybe you saw me on that YouTube video trying to get you to come over here. I hope that worked. Please let me know in the comments if that's why you're here. So thanks a lot for that. You're watching from Atlanta. What's up? What's up from Connecticut? Nelson Ortiz. Toronto, I think is the way you guys would prefer it being said. Alston, what's up? All capitals. Manolo, North Carolina. Thank you all so much. Dan's not here. Dean, sorry about that, man. Chris Carson, as always, tuning in. Thanks so much for these comments. We really appreciate it. If you've got any other news articles or something maybe we missed from the week, please go ahead and drop that in the comments there. Let us know what we missed, maybe what you'd like us to be covering for next week, or you want some more information about, and we'll do our best to try to get around to that sort of stuff. But this is kind of a short week for industry news. And that's going to be the end of that component for this time around. We tried to keep it short and sweet. Anyhow, I kind of stole Angela's thunder there, moving towards the next topic.
How could you, Jimmy? How could you?
I know, right? She was supposed to tell everybody to move on, but we're following the script. Let's just move on to our next segment. What do you say? Let's get some live video strategy. Angela, since I totally stole your thunder from previously, maybe you'd like to introduce our live video strategy topic this time around.
So as I mentioned, when the show started, our live video strategy this week is going to be tips on doing long form video. So this is something that, we've been discussing in essence on the past couple of stream squads. We've been going over, what can be some of the pitfalls of long form video versus short form video. We've gone over tips for short form video, but a lot of you guys out there are doing longer streams. Our stream each week is normally about 40 minutes, so that's pretty long. I know a lot of you guys are doing streams that, are an hour, 2 hours, sometimes 3 hours. So, there's a lot of things that go into that for it being a live video that can be different if you've previously just done, recorded and uploaded video. So we're going to give you guys just a couple of tips today to help you out with getting started with, really any video that's longer than about 10 or 15 minutes.
Yeah, that's right. So there's all sorts of different types of videos that you could be doing that are
longer than 10 minutes. I think sporting events are usually more than 10 minutes long. A show like this where we've got multiple segments, so there's all sorts of different types of shows and different formats. So just try to use your imagination, apply some of these tips to whatever it is that you're doing, or something maybe you might be deciding to do in the future now that you know that you can add in a couple of these tips and apply them. So one of the first ones I'll start off with is you just have to have this realization that viewers are probably coming and going throughout your live stream. We're not naive. We know that there are very few people that are really sticking around for the entirety of the show while it's live, because sometimes you just don't have time for Facebook. You want to remind people to maybe save this video for later. So if you're watching right now, you can go ahead and hit the save button, and we really don't mind if you tune out, but just come back later on and check us out. Also, we've planned to have this posted later on for YouTube, but just have that realization and know that sometimes people aren't going to stick there the whole time. They're going to be coming and going throughout. So just try to stay engaging, realizing that at any moment somebody could be joining the video. So like if you're just now joining us, I'm glad you're here. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, and maybe save this video for later on so you can watch it and get some more tips about live video strategy.
Yeah, another good thing to do is to put an agenda in the description. So, we always have our different segments. We go over what's going to be happening on the show, and that lets people know if they're coming in mid-show, what's coming up next, and what they may have already missed, so that way they know where we are in the show. They're not confused as to what's going on, and that's also going to let people know what is to come with the show, so that way they can tell, I need to stick around because this is coming up next, or they're going to have this segment, but after that this is going to happen. So since a lot of people are jumping in the middle of the show, it helps them to know exactly where you are, and basically keep things on track for them.
Real quick, just want to say to Jennifer Jensen Stay, my live streams are over 1 hour. Switcher works great on Facebook and YouTube. Jennifer, thank you for letting us know about that. So people they're doing streams for over an hour. So that's why we're kind of trying to offer up some of these tips. Especially if you're doing something like a sporting event, you don't know what's going to happen. You can't prepare to have talking points about every single thing. You're really literally doing a play-by-play. You're making it up as you go. So one of the great things that you can do, whatever your format of the show that you're doing, is prepare some additional facts and information about the people or events that are involved in the stream. So like I said, sporting event, get some stats on past wins. Or look into team histories. Look into the last time the teams that are playing won a major championship. Later on in the show, we're going to be talking about the Golf Channel and how they were able to do a stream of a golf tournament. They had all sorts of auxiliary information about the different golfers and about the course itself, the history. There's all sorts of little nuggets of information that your audience might be interested in knowing, and if you can just do a little information in advance about those things, maybe you can keep it a little bit more interesting in some of those dull moments over the course of a really long event. So think about that.
Yeah, I think filling that space, that negative space, right, with some factoids, right?
Yeah, and also don't be afraid of them, because it'll happen. Even in this show, we'll have a moment where it's like, well, we kind of messed up, but just kind of being able to roll on and just move forward with it too is another thing. Anyhow.
Yeah. Another thing to do is, basically give people an incentive to stick around. Start building that anticipation up. A good way to do this is, teasing some news that's coming at the end of the show. If you're doing a giveaway, letting people know, hey, stick around, we're going to be doing a giveaway. Or if there's a new product or something you're going to be releasing, let them know, hey, we're going to show off this product at the end of the show. And, keep reiterating this throughout the whole show. Don't just say it once in the beginning and that's it. So that way, again, as those people continue tuning in, as the live show is going on, they can still know that there's going to be, some kind of news or some kind of event happening at the end of your broadcast. Maybe even have some kind of graphic that you can put up on the screen here and there, letting people know, stick around, we've got some stuff coming up. And that's going to encourage people to continue tuning in, because they're going to want to see what that announcement or what that product's going to be.
Another great thing you can do is just plan on segmenting your show into more consumable chunks. So like for our show, we've got 4 individual segments that we do. We do the live, we do the industry news, we do the live video strategy, and then we do a switch it up, and then we do a hashtag made for switcher. Maybe you're only going to capture the attention of your audience for a smaller period. Maybe if you're just within that block, you can get people to tune in for a little bit longer over that. And it also just helps keep things a little bit more organized. I mean, that is just another way of getting your show to keep moving on, and so you don't have any of those moments where it's just awkwardly silent and it's weird. So yeah, try to segment your stuff into components so that you can keep the show rolling, keep the energy up.
Yeah. Another thing, don't be afraid to take a break. You know, with a long show, no one expects you to be going for 2 or 3 or 4 hours straight without stopping. You know, so prepare a graphic, you know, put up on the screen and let people know you'll be back shortly. Sometimes it's just a graphic with the person saying, I'll be back in 5 minutes or something. Sometimes it's a countdown, so that way anyone who comes in can see the countdown. And this is not only good just for you, so that way you get kind of a break, but also for the viewer. I know for me, if I'm watching a live show on a TV, after a while I want to get up and maybe grab a bite to eat or go do something in the house, and I don't want to move because I'm afraid I'm going to miss something. So when someone says, hey, I'll be back in 5 minutes, that gives me 5 minutes to do what I need to do. Likewise, for mobile viewers, if you're seeing notifications coming up on the screen, you're not going to want to switch over to, your text or Twitter or Instagram or something because you're going to miss something from the show. But if that broadcaster says, hey, I'm going to take a 3-minute break, that gives you time to check up on those notifications, again, do what you need to do. And that keeps your viewer happy and willing to stick around. And that also keeps you as the broadcaster from, getting burnt out or losing your voice or whatever is going to happen if you do 4 continuous hours.
That's right. Another thing is you might only get your audience's attention, or maybe it's just a passing person. You might only get their attention for a really short period of time. So one of the good things to do is have graphics and branding on your screen all the time that helps you tell people what you want them to do. So Ernesto, for example, earlier I made that really weird graphic. It's like at the very top. I think it's like a, where's the blue one? Is it this one?
Yeah.
You got it there, right? So follow us. If I have that there the whole time, even if somebody's only briefly tuning in, they're going to see it says follow us. And since we're on Facebook, it's got the name of us right there. They can see on the side of the video that that's who they're watching. And we're trying to remind you to follow us. So
it's kind of like a little mental cue, like,
yeah.
Oh yeah, I should probably do that.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how many times I've watched a video that I enjoyed and I didn't like it, I didn't share it, I didn't do anything for them except for watch it.
You just got to help people along with that process, even if you've only got their attention for like 3 seconds. I mean, I've definitely liked a post that I've looked at for less than a second, so just throw that out there. You never know. Maybe somebody, we would prefer that you liked this video right now if you haven't already and you're still watching, and also that you follow us. So if anybody's just stepped in here and they've seen that, that's really what we want you to do. So maybe consider making some of those graphics that will get those people that are maybe just in passing.
Yeah, and our last piece of advice for you guys today, we've mentioned before that using social media is a great tool to get the word out about your show. Of course, letting people know when you're going to be live and then letting them know, hey, I'll be live in 5 minutes. But also for a longer broadcast, keep that up. If you've got a 2-hour broadcast, maybe every 30 minutes, put out an alert, hey, I'm still live, come check it out. There's been a lot of times that, I'm on Facebook or Twitter or something, and I see where someone whose stream I would have watched advertised they were going live 2 hours ago, and I think, oh, I've missed it. And come to find out later, it was a 3 or 4 hour stream where I could have tuned in. So, make sure to put that update through. Some people, especially if it's a more casual stream, will actually just say, I'm going to tweet this out or I'm going to put this on Facebook. But if you've got like a co-host or something, as one person's talking, another person can jump in and put the update through. And another thing is, if you know how long this broadcast is going to be, there's a lot of clients like Hootsuite out there where you can go ahead and pre-program those in. And then as you're live, it's going to be automatically posting those reminders to your social media. So you don't have to take a break to remember to do it. But that way your viewers are still going to know, hey, this person's still live. I'm going to go ahead and tune in.
There's so much more that we could be adding. These are
it could be its own show.
These are just some from our own brainstorming and different things. But we get this information just from our own experience, and also from you all. If you all have anything else like this, any other ideas that you have, really just tell us in the comments. We'll try to keep this going. I think this is going to turn into a nice blog post.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Oh, yeah. And where can they read those?
Angela, why don't you tell us?
Yeah, so we've got our blog. It's switcherstudio.com/blog, and it's got a lot of tips just like this. So whether you're using Switcher Studio or whether you're just getting started with video, anything like that, we've got a bunch of tips on there to help with live video in general. So we highly recommend that. It's great for everyone to use. And there's also an option on that page that'll say subscribe. And what you can do is put your email address in, and that way anytime there's a new blog post, you'll get an email letting you know that that's been posted. The cool thing is, if you are using Switcher Studio, we do put app updates as blog posts as well, so that way you'll also always know when there's a new app update. So again, that's switcherstudio.com/blog. As Jimmy mentioned, we'll most likely be doing a blog post on the best tips for creating long-form video, and of course there's some other cool stuff on there too.
Alan Morrison in the comments just said, first time watching live from New Zealand, great points. Thank you very much, Alan. If you've got any other ideas like this, we really would like to hear them in the comments, and we will try to include them in a blog post. Hey, we might even credit you with giving us this idea, So if you've got some cool ideas, please share those with us. I think we're going to move on to our next segment in the show. And this week is pretty interesting, but so is every week, because this is the part of the show where we switch it up. So stand by. All right, so this week's switch it up is really interesting. We're going to try not to make it too technical, right, Ernesto?
I hope not. Yeah, we'll see.
But it's really cool what we were able to accomplish recently. I wasn't personally involved, but we got some great images from Dan, who's usually on the show. Some of you are very keenly aware of his absence today. Dan is taking some time off. He deserves it. Hey, Dan, what's up? We'll see you next time, okay, when you're coming back. But we're going to talk this week about how to accomplish doing some networking over very long distances. And we're going to do that using some antennas and wireless trickery and tomfoolery. We've got a box full of gear. Ernesto knows a lot about this, but I think we got some props too we might just hold up so you can kind of get an idea of how this works. But the general idea is you've got a golf course. Mm-hmm. And I've got there's a few images that we've got prepared. We've got a golf course, and we want to basically get a view from where the tee is, and also a view from where the green is. So you can see this image. This is a really long distance, okay? Like that's quite a ways. We need to get from the green, which is there in the foreground, and then far off in the background there's the tee. Well, what are you going to do? You're going to run a wire all that way? Well, no.
A really long wire,
And that really won't work. What we're going to do is we're going to use wireless antennas.
Yeah.
So what do you got?
What if I told you?
Oh, yeah?
What if I told you could go over 10 kilometers with Wi-Fi?
Ernesto, I would say I don't think that's possible.
Oh, you don't think so?
No, I don't.
Well,
what if you kept telling me?
What if you could do that with this little thing right here?
That little guy?
Yeah, this little guy.
Let me hold this little guy.
Yeah, sure.
It's so cute.
This thing isn't even a pound. This thing doesn't even weigh a pound.
Right, it's nothing. So these are Ubiquiti nanostations. That's what they are called, the Nanostation AC.
Okay, deal.
Yeah. And we, for the Golf Channel specifically, we were able to go at least like almost 1,000 feet using these. But really what we've discovered is that according to Ubiquiti, they can go over 10 kilometers, which is like 6.5 miles?
Six point something miles.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so it's pretty crazy. And the great thing is that this worked fantastic for the golf course at Golf Channel.
And in fact, today in hashtag Maybe Switcher, we'll show the video that was actually created using this setup. So stick around for that. It's our next segment after this. But so can we, I think there's a diagram. We can kind of look and see
look at that real quick.
Generally how this is set up. So the cloud that we got in the bottom corner, that's the internet, right?
Yep. Okay.
So we've got the internet, and then we use this other little black box that it's a PoE. That means power
over Ethernet.
So what's that do exactly? It's power and Ethernet.
Right. So typically, like when you connect Ethernet, you're mostly just sending data, and it's low voltage, right? It's not a lot. But what you can do with power over Ethernet is, in addition to sending that data to the device, you can power that device as well.
Okay.
That means only one cord going to the device, and that supplies the data and the power.
So what is the device we're powering? What is that
So
black
the first thing that
cube
we're
that we got?
powering is that black cube with the Wi-Fi signal coming out. That is called an air cube, and we have one of those here as well. See if we can show you one of these. So here, I'll hand it to you.
Okay,
so you
cool.
can-
So I've got.
you can
So
show
let's
it
say
on the
that I'm
camera.
connected to. I've got the internet behind me over here.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just pretend that that outlet is the internet. So I can use a PoE injector, and I can power this box, which has the ports on the back here, and then this has got Wi-Fi on
It's
it.
got Wi-Fi. It's like a little access point.
And then what I can do on this one, which we've marked TX, which means transmit,
Right.
you can connect this to one of the ports using, there's like another Ethernet jack right inside here. It's kind of hard to get to exactly, but, and then this thing is like basically not a laser beam, but this is an antenna that will broadcast my,
It's, you know, can
My
think of
signal.
it as, it's like a really fancy access point that is typically an access point like this, or a router or Wi-Fi router like this,
Yeah.
sends out a signal 360 degrees.
Okay,
right?
yep.
This one sends it out at a narrower angle.
so it's like a beam
160,
that's
right.
sending out. So
Right.
I can basically from this point to that point.
So we have another one here.
So, okay,
This
what do
one's
I-
marked RX for receive.
So how do I
right?
get my phone connected to that?
All right, so on the other side, let's go back to the diagram so you can see what we're talking about. So we're using the two nano stations, and they talk to each other. So we have the internet going into the air cube first, then we have the air cube sending its data to the transmitter, right, the first nano station. Then we have another nano station that can be up to around 10 kilometers away, receiving the Wi-Fi signal, and then we hook up another air cube to that one. And
Yep.
that air cube can send out a local Wi-Fi signal
That's from the internet,
Right,
or
that's
from
from-
the other one.
from the other one, sure.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Yep, and then because the air cubes also have Ethernet on the back, you could hardwire your devices into these cubes as well.
And we'll see in some images that we've got in our next segment that's coming up that is exactly how it was accomplished to make this happen. So this is pretty neat. We've got it's pretty neat. We've got the internet, and we've got that connected to our Wi-Fi bubble. And as you know, Switcher Studio, if you want to do multiple cameras, you can connect them wirelessly over Wi-Fi.
Right.
But we need to get it to a source that's really far away, and it's not like we can run a wire.
No.
But if we want to have cameras over this long distance, we can totally do it. And these aren't terribly
Oh
expensive.
yeah, that's the other thing. Like you're probably thinking, oh gosh, what is this gonna run me
Yeah,
now?
$30,000,
Yeah, no, like what do you think? it costs?
$20,000.
No.
500.
I
Low
didn't-
You're
ball.
getting closer. It's
Really?
actually
These-
lower than 500.
For all of this?
Yeah, for all of this. These
300.
It's around that.
I was
like-
gonna say
Yeah.
$1,000.
No. This nano station here is about $130.
Whoa.
Wow.
So you get two
I
of those,
legit
you're
thought
at
this was a
260, right? Then these are about 100 and actually no, these are $80.
Okay.
So yeah, so for less than 500, you can have this insane setup
Right.
where you can beam Wi-Fi 10 kilometers away.
And these, I think, from what I remember about these can act like the Google Wi-Fi pucks do, where they can repeat the
Yeah.
signal. So
Yeah,
if you've
you
got
can put
multiple
them-
ones, it'd make
you
a
can
mesh
put them in
network.
mesh mode. Yeah.
Right. So these two, I mean, the Google Wi-Fi pucks are a great deal, but these are Ubiquiti. I'm going to try to put some links to some of this stuff in the description if you're interested in checking out how it works. Follow this later on, or maybe even go check out our blog, because maybe we'll make an article about how we made all this happen and pulled
Right.
it off. But
Yeah.
really inexpensive ways to accomplish some truly magnificent networking feats. And we were able to do this with the Golf Channel, who put this on their actual Facebook page, and they made it happen. They had this super great coverage. So
Right. Look, I mean, they had an image. Here's an image of one of the nano stations that's up at one of the, I guess, overlooks.
oh yeah,
right?
there's the tower.
Right, this is the tower, and if we zoom in a little bit, you can see the little nano station up there.
Yeah.
And that was beaming Wi-Fi out to where
It was on that white post on the previous one. If you look
right,
at the
right.
actual
So if we
tee
go over
box,
here,
there's a little white post
Right.
next to it, and then it's attached to that one.
and that
So
was about 800, 900 feet away. We
That's
were getting
amazing.
a full signal, and we had remote cameras that far away.
that's wild stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
truly impressive. If you're interested in learning how to do this a little more, maybe drop us a line, reach out to us. We can try to, maybe we'll post that image up somewhere so somebody can try to get an idea of how to make this happen. I think there's actually some links on the image itself,
Yes,
if I remember.
there are. Yeah,
so
we
that
can
can
post
that can help you find out how to do this. But that's been our Switch It Up for today. Really cool things that you're able to do with networking, and all of this you can program it with your phone through an app, right?
Yep. Yeah. You just download the UBNT app.
UBNT.
And then you can program it using your phone. Takes a little bit of time, and I think if we get into the details, I think we can really help people out.
We can make some instructions.
Right,
It won't be too hard. So if anybody's interested in doing that, please let us know in the comments, and we'll say hi, and we'll do that. Ronald Wallace says Ubiquity. I use those, and they work great. So there's a shining review from a longtime Switcher user, Ronald Wallace. Thank you for adding that in there, letting people know that this is possible. So anyhow, let's move on with our show. But before we do that, we do want to tell you all about the user group. Ronald Wallace in the user group. Matthew Williams also. Matthew, we were talking recently, I think, about some audio interfaces that you wanted, and the only reason that we were able to accomplish this relationship and we were able to communicate and reach out to you all is because of the great user group that we have. And maybe Angela, you can tell us all how we can get in there.
Yeah, so this video playing actually shows you a little bit of how to join, but what we have is an online Facebook community called Switcher Studio Enthusiasts. We're getting close to 4,000 members, so there's a lot of you guys in there, but it's a really helpful, really active group full of, Switcher Studio users, Switcher Studio trialers, and people just thinking of using Switcher Studio. So there's a little bit of everyone in there. There's 3 ways to join. You can, of course, just type in Switcher Studio Enthusiasts on Facebook. If you're watching this on our Facebook page right now, you can also click on Groups from the menu on the left-hand side, and that'll take you there. And also, as this video shows, if you already have a Switcher Studio account, just log in to switcherstudio.com. You're going to see an option for Join the Community, and that's going to take you there. So any of those 3 options will work. After you're in there, there's going to be a short survey to fill out that just lets us know more of how you are using Switcher or how you plan to use Switcher. And after that, you'll have full access into the group. So we have a lot of content that was made with Switcher that's shared in there. We have people sharing tips and tricks on how they did different things. And for those of you guys getting started, if you have a question of, can Switcher be used for X, Y, and Z? A lot of times if you ask that, a lot of the members will come forward and say, yes, this is how I did it. And they'll share, the equipment they used, an example of a video that has that. So everyone is in there helping you. All of us and the rest of the Switcher team are in there as well. So again, I highly recommend it no matter what experience level you are with Switcher Studio. Even if today is day 1, you can still learn a lot from the user group.
And whether it's day 1 or day million, whatever day you're on, I don't know, whatever day you're on, if you make a video with Switcher Studio, we want to know about it. And that's why we ask you to tell us how that you've been making videos with Switcher by including a hashtag made with Switcher on that. It's just so we can find your videos and so we can feature you on this show. And today, that's exactly what we're going to do in our last segment of the show. Hashtag made with Switcher. Stick around.
So for today's hashtag Made with Switcher segment, we're going to be featuring a video from the Golf Channel. So of course, we were just showing you guys some examples from, their production last week. As you guys have noticed, Dan has been a little MIA. He was actually in Atlanta, Georgia, helping with this production last week. And, the Golf Channel has been using Switcher for the past few months. Of course, they're able to televise their major tournaments for people to see, but they also have a lot of smaller events that they still wanted to get out there and get that live coverage for, but those smaller events just didn't have the same budget as the major tournaments to put on ESPN and different networks like that. So with Switcher Studio, they've been able to do, live streams of their smaller tournaments straight to their Facebook page so that people can still take a look at what's happening in those tournaments. So for each one of these streams, they like to feature a different hole. This video is featuring hole 9, par 3, and this is just some footage of what happened during that. So they brought in 2 commentators to not only give a play-by-play, but to also give background information as well as a history of the course. And so by doing, a Switcher Studio production, they had more freedom to do what they wanted. They were able to give a lot of information that you wouldn't normally have during a normal televised broadcast. But, they did a great job. This video looks amazing. It got a lot of views. The commentary was, very interesting. Instead of a lot of dead air, they had a lot of facts and tidbits that they were able to share. So, this is a great example of, a hashtag Made with Switcher video. And the Golf Channel has, quite a few of these up on their page, just on their Facebook page. So you guys are able to still watch this entire broadcast from last week on the Golf Channel Facebook page at this time.
Yeah, we've got it up there right now. Hopefully you can see this. They're really able to make a really dynamic production out of this.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there were like 5 or 6 cameras, and they're at the tee and they're on the green. Then they've got the commentators here who can really talk about every individual player that's coming up here. They've got the logos for all the different schools that they're representing. So yeah, great production for Golf Channel. I mean, this was awesome. And we were really happy to be part of it and also just kind of contribute what we could to making this work. But this is a great production. 5 stars. 5 stars. 5 out of 5. Right. And there's graphics too. I think the graphic components really helped to move the story along as well. So, man, this is awesome. This is one of the coolest productions I've seen. With Switcher.
I mean, it looked amazing. It looked professional, and really to think that it was just made with some iPhones and an iPad and a little bit of networking equipment that we covered earlier. I mean, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Indeed. All right. Well, folks, that's going to be it for us today. We really appreciate you all so much for coming here to join us. If you're watching this on YouTube on the replay, please come check us out on Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern Time right here on Facebook.com/Switcher Studio. We're here live every Wednesday trying to give you the best tips and tricks, industry news, and all that jazz. Thanks so much. Remember to follow us right now on Facebook if you haven't already. Subscribe to those blogs. Reach out to us. Be friends with us. We're nice and we don't bite. Later today, 4 p.m., there's going to be a watch party, 4 p.m. Eastern Time in the user group. So why not join that user group? It's right there. It's called Switcher Studio Enthusiast. Angela told you everything about it. 4 p.m. today, watch party. We'll answer every question you have about how Switcher Studio works. So please be there. We'll be there answering questions for you. So with that being said, thanks so much for joining us. Later on.
See you guys.